Today is today is September 26th, 2023. It's almost October. A month just flew by. But then again, a year and a half just flew by. And what I've been doing so far is eat, sleep, wash dishes, and trade. Essentially, that's what I've been doing. Those four things: eat, sleep, wash dishes, and trade. Those are the four things that I've been doing for the past 2 years. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I've watched Linda Ratsky on Confessions of a Moneymaker, Market Maker. It was a interesting interview, although I didn't think much of anything was disclosed. But she is known for utilizing moving averages. She uses moving averages as a fundamental means to make her trades. And so she says that she'll go long and she'll go short because it's all based on moving averages. And I thought to myself, as I was washing dishes that moving averages are like branches. Okay, it's like branches, the branches of a tree. So the 200-day moving average is the trunk, and the 100-day moving average is essentially a one of the larger branches. And when on that larger branch, there is a 20-day moving average. There's a 10-day moving average. There's a 5-day moving average. And these define what smaller branches are, where eventually the leaves start to grow. And what I've noticed about what seems to be interesting is that the moving averages are the center of a branch. And that center of the branch defines the major direction of the trend. And the minor moving averages define the temporary movement out of that moving average, the fundamental moving average. And eventually, if it exceeds in a dramatic fashion, it has to come back to the moving average that defines the major branch of that particular movement. And therefore, that's why it's like that's why it seems to be that the VWAP, volume weighted average price, seems to be a magnet. It's either a support or resistance. So if the price is below it, then it tends to move towards it, even if it's on a bearish day. It'll move towards it because it is a volume weighted price average. It is an average of the price, and it moves in that branch. And when it's above it, if it drops below it, then it's going to act as a support and then moves back up. Okay, and so these averages seems to define the branches of the stock movement. And if it exceeds to a dramatic fashion, then it has to return at a specific rendezvous point as time passes. So time A and time B. And if the 200-day moving average is straight right across, and if the stock is up like this, then it has to come back down to meet it at a certain point. But if the trend is moving this way in a 200-day moving average, then what it's going to do is if it moves up, then it's going to meet at a certain point, at a higher point. But it has to return to a specific price level at a specific time in the future. So that is why when I draw a 200-day, some certain averages, then if it's trending down, then really I should be like shorting. If it pops up, then I should be shorting. Okay, if it dips down, I should be gauging whether it's in line with the main branch of the stock, and I need to buy it. Okay, so that's how it works. If it exceeds a certain point where the averages are beyond a certain point, then I need to realize that the averages define how the stocks behave. And so I need to take that into consideration in my trading. That is something that I need to do, and that's what I right now I am not using that part of it as a repertoire in determining the way that I trade, and I hope to make that transition, hopefully, and create a. I have to clearly define. I have to pinpoint exactly and describe in detail what I need to do in creating this particular thing, so that I can say, okay, this is my setup. This is me. This is something that I'm going to be an expert at, and I'm going to explore it. I'm going to just dig deep into it. I'm going to take this one setup. Define it as much as possible, and define what things that I need to do in order to make this particular setup work. And when it works, then I can say, okay, that's one setup, and I can move on to some other setup that looks similar to it or some different in a vast way. Then I can take that and then surround it with confluences and make it into another setup.